Friday. Welcome to the Bat X Release Show on Covers. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:15 a.m. Good morning to everybody there in the chat. Good morning to Derek. 5-0 on Tuesday, 2-4 on Wednesday. Still up over. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the Dunning. The Dunning plays like a 3-unit swing if he walks one more guy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and he walks a guy in the first inning, goes almost 8, and doesn't walk another one the whole game. Like, we were such a monster favorite at that point, and like you said, it's a 3-unit swing. It's just brutal.
Yeah, that was a tough one to swallow, but markets look good today. We're getting in, I think, before some bigger moves later. Let's get right to the release procedure here. For if you're new to the show, this is how we do things here. There are no fake outs. We just go right with a straight release. We will tell you what book we're betting at, hopefully give you some secondary books as people are in different states, different provinces, different countries. Not everybody has access to the same books. We'll give you some time, log in there. Then we'll tell you the game we're betting on. Give you some time again. Then we'll tell you the prop market, the team the player's on, who the player is, and then the bet over under, giving some time in between each place, making sure everybody can get that number. And as always, you beautiful people there in the chat, let me know where you're getting the number. Let me know if it's moving, and hit that like and subscribe button as always as we lead into the weekend. Handful of plays today, so let's get right to it. Release number 1, we are at FanDuel. Some secondary books do include 365, BetMGM, Betway. Little FanDuel action first out of the gates. First game in question, Toronto at Boston. Yep, head over to pitcher props. Head over to Alek Manoah strikeouts. We're getting a better number there than.
Yep, we're getting 2 points better, which is nice because this market has been crashing all morning.
All right, let's get that out. For release number 1, we are on Alek Manoah, under 4.5 strikeouts, -128. Producer Brady quick to change that -130 to -128. Well done. Alek Manoah, under 4.5 strikeouts, -128. Let us know if FanDuel's not your cup of tea. If you're somewhere else, let us know the price you're looking at. Pinnacle, I know Pinnacle before we started the show was about -151, but that's probably fell. Double-digit winds blowing out. Rain in the forecast. Kevin Roth from RotoGrinders says rain looks likely to move in during the game, which is always better when you're on the under. And since the return, I mean, I don't know if everybody there in the chat or you guys know what a good strike percentage is, but 60% strike percentage is not where you want to be as a starting pitcher, and a 23% called strike whiff rate is absolutely putrid. What are the projections here on Manoah, who still he's not the pitcher he was?
No, he's really not. Projection is 3.15. And he's not even the pitcher he was earlier this year. I looked at his Stuff Plus numbers since he's gotten called back up, and they're worse. His stuff has actually been worse somehow. So he's going into Boston. It's an elite hitter's park. It's a solid and low strikeout Boston offense. Manoah has been struggling. Like you said, there's weather. And this market has just been tumbling. It opened, several books opened it at plus money, plus 105, I think was the best it opened, and everywhere, you know, -140, -150. I think Pinnacle is -153, I think I'm seeing. So like it's we're getting in a good number here, and Manoah's just not the guy he used to be, and the matchup is really tough.
Yeah, low strikeout Boston offense to add too. You mentioned Stuff Plus. Can you just tell maybe the viewers a little bit what Stuff Plus is and where you can find it and the value of it?
Yeah, it's over at FanGraphs. It's basically a measure of a pitcher's stuff, you know, how their pitches move, velocity, spin, that kind of thing. I'm developing my own version of it, which should be ready pretty soon, which I'm very excited about and is going to be awesome. But that kind of thing is not in the projection yet. So for guys who have big swings in their stuff, I do tend to try to look at that and see what we're dealing with. Adam Wainwright's over projects kind of well today, but since coming back from the injury, his stuff has been way worse. So I'm staying away from that one for anyone who's looking at the sheet of DV analytics.
Yeah, if you know anybody in the fantasy community, you know that Stuff Plus is probably right up there with some of the most important stuff you're looking at in terms of pitcher stuff. Obviously, the well-named stuff. Manoah under 4.5 strikeouts. Let's go there for release number 2. We are at 365. Secondary books include BetMGM and BetRivers. Give you some time. Log into over there. All right, let's go. Royals, Phillies. I still think the Phillies can go on another run this year. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
They might be one of the only teams I think they have the best chance of knocking off Atlanta in the NL.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've always been a big Philly guy.
We got Trey Turner hitting in the 7th spot. You might be doing okay. Prop mark, we're looking at pitcher strikeouts. Number is still there. Fantastic. For release number 2, Philly starting pitcher Aaron Nola over 6.5 Ks -110. Nola over 6.5 Ks -110. Let us know where you got it. Let us know if it's moving. Saw Pinnacle -130 before the show. A 7-inning outing, obviously very possible versus this Kansas City offense. And I mean, this is just a K per inning guy consistently, at least 6 Ks in all of his 5 starts in July. What are the projections here for the right-hander?
Yep. Projection is 7.4. So almost a full strikeout over. We're getting it at good odds. This is a KC offense, obviously, that is really bad, is above average for strikeouts. They play most people don't realize it, but they play at home in Kauffman Stadium, which really suppresses strikeouts. So their actual strikeout numbers are going to look lower than they will be in a place like Philly. And Nola's really good, has a long leash. Weather is cooling down a little bit in that part of the country. We've been seeing, 80, 85s, but we're in the low to mid 70s here. And yeah, I like this one. The market's been moving up. We're getting in a good number. So this looks good.
Yeah, still there. And the one thing, if you know Derek's numbers and the projection, or just basically how strikeouts are priced and maybe swung more to the over than the under, getting almost a full strikeout over on the projection is not something that usually hits on these overplays.
Right. We don't see it very often. So when we do, all the more reason to hit it.
Yeah. So let's go there. Aaron Nola over 6.5 Ks -110 versus a weak Kansas City offense. Release 3. Let's stay at the same book. Let's stay at Bet 365. As always with this market, DK points bet is there, but again, always about pretty much 15 points shorter.
Yep. I think MGM is the next best line.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Head over to Mets. O's. That series kicks off today. The Mets at the Orioles. Go down to player hits. Yeah,
and
the
I think
pitcher
the same
walk
number
mark
there for total bases. Yep.
Number still there, correct? Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's go. Love this play. Absolutely love this play. Release number 3. Let's go. Baltimore's Ryan McKenna under 0.5 hits +160. McKenna under 0.5 hits +160. Facing a lefty starter and David Peterson, who's not great, and as you mentioned, not stretched out. So if the right-hander comes in, McKenna likely won't see him. Ryan O'Hearn is a much better bat. Even Adam Frazier can come in that spot. This is a guy who's had 2 plate appearances in 4 of his last 6 starts. So the system that they're running right now, I mean, number 1 team in the division. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's just keep giving McKenna 2 at-bats and happy to get 160 with a very good possibility. What's the pinch hit risk here for McKenna, who basically that's the value in these plays?
Yep. Pinch hit risk is 35%. And that's amplified today because Peterson is not stretched out. They've basically said, we're going to manage this game. We're going to be looking towards future starts. They traded away half their rotation. And so Peterson's going to get a full-time spot. They don't want to, push him too hard today. So we're not going to be looking at a long game for Peterson. McKenna projects for the second fewest plate appearances of anybody today. It's a little over 3, but there's a real chance we only see him get 2 today. And he's not a great hitter to begin with. So this is a really strong one.
McKenna under 0.5 hits plus 160. Someone in the chat, Robert, believes, is it me or is the pitcher walk market soft? When we say something is soft, we just have to assume that it's not as efficient. There's just not enough liquidity. There's not many bets going into that market, which makes it soft. Once more money goes in, the more efficient it becomes, and the more difficult it becomes. But it's starting. You go on social media, lots of people are starting to hit the walk market. Lots of people are realizing that it's a 2 walk performance is not as common as you might think with upper tier pitchers. So there's a lot of guys paying juice to hit those under 1.5s at big money. So it will definitely be a market, I think, that becomes more efficient as the more intelligence and the more info bettors are getting. We've got another one here. We are at, we got 2 more. We are at points bet here. DK Betway, some secondary books for release number 4 coming up. This man owes me some money, I believe, for sure. Trying to back this man's overs has just been a losing cause. Points bet. Game in question, Pittsburgh at Milwaukee. Head over there. Head over to pitcher strikeouts. But with the new user face here, you're going to have to go all the way down. Click on Colin Ray. Minus 130, still good?
You know what? If we have FanDuel open, can we jump over there? I think the number's a little better there. It'll only take a second.
Okay, if you don't have FanDuel and you just want to stick at points bet, we're talking a 5-point difference.
Yeah, it's not a big difference here. But if we have it open, then
it's
might
certainly
as well
not
take
something
it.
to push us off.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Okay, so I'll give you some time. Jump over to FanDuel, I believe, for a 4-point difference here. And like I said, this is a pitcher who his over markets had looked so low that he's like, no, maybe he'll do it. No. So let's get on him on the other side today for release number 4. Milwaukee starting pitcher Colin Ray, under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 126 here at FanDuel. Release 4, Colin Ray, starting pitcher for the Brewers, under 5.5 Ks versus Pittsburgh. Let us know where you got it. Let us know if it's moving. 6-12 to the under on his last, basically on the season in his starts, 2-6 to the under in his last 8. Obviously, those aren't the reasons we're playing it, but this is just a 20% K% pitcher, short leash, no more than 91 pitches in 9 straight starts. A lot has to go right for him to get over this number.
Yeah, he's just not good. The bat's projecting 4.7. Market's been trending down. Pinnacle's minus 143. Basically everything you said.
Yeah, it's and I mean Pittsburgh is not like, I don't know. I was watching them yesterday. It's not a great lineup, don't get me wrong, but they're, I don't know, they're competent at bats. They're not like a strikeout heavy team recently like Seattle or Minnesota is. So it's just a high number on a bad pitcher with a market going the other way. Pinnacle minus 143 last time I looked at it. Happy to get on that. Under 5.5 Ks for the Milwaukee starter. Final one here. Love this play. Book specific. This is at DK. Book specific because it's market specific. Sticking with the same game. Pittsburgh, Milwaukee. Okay, now we got to do the long scroll. Head over to batter props. Keep going down, all the way down, past the hits, past the bases, past the hits, runs, RBIs, past the home runs. Head over to player strikeouts. And you want to talk about
It's moved another few points, but it's still good.
this, yeah. Let's get that up there. I can't see the number, but what number are you looking at?
It's plus 180 now.
Okay. All right, let's go. Release number 5, Pittsburgh's Alika Williams, under 0.5 Ks, plus 180. Alika Williams under 0.5 Ks, plus 180. Let us know if you can find this at another book. Some other books are starting to open up this market. This one is I think this one's certainly mispriced. We had it at a different number earlier. It's coming down.
This opened at 205. It's already down to 180.
Yeah. So a lot of the times when they're trying to project these numbers with young batters, I don't know if they're really taking into account probably the better sample size of their minor league numbers as much. He only has 20 plate appearances so far in the big leagues, but this guy had 22 Ks and 148 plate appearances at AAA this year. His plate discipline's pretty decent for plus 185 for a strikeout, which is absolutely insane. We were saying that's near taking Jordan Lyles versus Aaron Nola in Philadelphia territory. If you look at it in a money line price, what are the projections here for the young infielder?
Yeah, projection is 0.75 strikeouts. So this projects to win 44% of the time. Not quite a coin flip, but close enough. Plus 180 for that is really good. Like you said, this is a guy who is not a big strikeout guy, does have a bit of pinch hit risk, 21%, facing Colin Ray, who we just took the under on because he's not a good strikeout pitcher. And I forgot to mention with Ray, but one of the best hitters umpires in the game here. So not going to be a great strike zone for him for strikeouts. So, gotta like this one.
Yeah, definitely some of those secondary things that your numbers project are some of the things that aren't priced in. The framing of the catcher and your rating on umpires. So it's interesting. Guys like Angel Hernandez, everyone thinks he's a bad umpire. No, he's just bad at both strikes and balls. He's a neutral umpire.
He's a neutral umpire. Like for betting purposes, Angel Hernandez doesn't really move the needle at all. It's just that he's terrible. He's just he's terrible both ways. Yeah.
It's consistently.
The guys that we like are the guys who are consistently bad in one direction.
Yeah. So with Derek's system, he does have just a great way of rating it: neutral to hitter to extreme hitter, or the other way, neutral to pitcher friendly to extreme pitcher friendly. So certainly some value when you're looking into Derek's numbers, those available. Where those numbers for your fantasy purposes available at RotoGrinders, I believe, right?
They're available at RotoGrinders, and also I think there's a free page at EV Analytics that has them too.
Yeah, certainly some things to look into if you're trying to squeeze or on the fence about a play and looking at those things. Those are certainly things that can push you on the other side, framing catchers and umpires. So that will do it for us today. A handful of plays, starting off with Alek Manoah under 4.5 strikeouts, minus 128. Then we went Aaron Nola over 6.5 Ks, minus 110. Then we jumped over to the hit markets, hit Ryan McKenna with a probability of maybe 2 plate appearances, which would be great, at plus 160 to collect no hits. Colin Ray under 5.5 Ks. That market keeps falling, minus 126. And then finishing things off with a DK specific play with Alika Williams under 0.5 Ks, hitter Ks at plus 180. That's the 5-pack here for a Friday. Let's finish up the week on a strong note. We're here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:15. Thanks to everybody there in the chat. Everybody have a great and safe weekend. Thanks again for Derek. This is the Bat X Release Show on Covers. See you back here Tuesday, 9:15 a.m.